Hello everybody and good evening. Welcome to the second to last round of our S&T Series season here at Michigan. Here in the Irish Hills, we are going to find out in the last two rounds who will settle to be this series and this season's S&T champion. Now, as we take a look at things, let's take a look at our point standings so far. On your screen right now is the top 5 in points eligible to win the championship. A close battle between those here at the top. James Thurston and Vinny Tigner, two frontrunners here ready to win the championship. James, I think, has put on a strong season, most definitely with 4 wins on the season. I think no one makes a stronger case than Jim Thurston does on his chance to win the S&T championship this season. As we get ready to go for 90 laps here from Michigan in the Irish Hills, let's take a look at tonight's grid. Tonight's grid, it's Matthew C. White on the pole, and then it's Vinny Tigner in second, James Thurston with a lap to put him third, Matthew Weeks in fourth, Brady Williman in fifth with Richard Sheary in sixth. Then it's Henry Cowhoff and Cameron Chandler, those to round out row 4. Jonathan Cutlip and Jacob Elkins to round out row number 5. It's Connor Isabel moving on along down the list. It's Connor D. Jones, Kenneth Gorel, Braden Hunsaker, Elijah Hawley, Aiden Donahue, Cody Webster, Chris Tripp, and Joseph Miller. And it's Siler Sievert, Mike Hill, and Curtis Stanford to round out our grid. A lot of interesting things and a lot of stuff to go down here tonight from Michigan as we head into the final 2 races of the season. Things are bound to get exciting. We're going to put on a wonderful show here from the Irish Hills of Michigan, and things bound to be great. The points battle here tonight is absolutely close. I don't think I've seen a closer points battle so far in S&T history. Now, I could be wrong. I don't keep up with it as much as David does, but I, for one, know that when we get going here green, it's going to embark on the last 2-run stretch to get to the championship. As the pace car makes its dive into turn number 4, we're getting ready to get going here from S&T and from Michigan. The second to last round before the end of the playoffs is green here from Michigan. With lap 1 done and underway, it's Vinny Tigner, the man to slide up to the race lead, with James Thurston sliding on that outside lane right by the wall. Matthew C. White had built himself up to an early lead, but a pass made by Vinny Tigner, the one to put him out in front right now. James Thurston trying and vying for that second place position with Matthew C. White. This is crucial for the championship. Vinny Tigner and James Thurston, the ones who are fighting for the championship along with the other 5. Jordan Kuntz has mathematically dropped out of the championship due to him no-showing the last couple of races in this round of the playoffs. Matthew Weeks, the current points leader, has fallen all the way back to 8th as there goes Jim Thurston up the inside. And a move on that bottom lane sees James take the race lead by over a quarter of a second. But now Vinny Tigner, who is getting that run off that second lane, able to try and claw back some time.
Caution.
Caution is out the first time tonight.
Very, very difficult official this week, so make sure we're minding our P's and Q's.
Kenneth Gorel, the cause. Let's take a look back. Here's Kenneth Gorel coming out of turn 2. Incident happens on the front stretch. Let's see the buildup of this. So currently, he's battling Joseph Miller and Cody Webster. Joseph Miller and Cody Webster doing battles with Kenneth Gorel, and somehow, and Cody Webster just turns him down the front stretch. Ends up in the grass. Does he hit the wall? No. Slams that thing in reverse and just barely avoids contact. I believe that's the University of Southern Florida on his car, and sponsor maintains its shape. If he gets going, we remain under caution. The first caution of tonight, and it's Kenneth Gorel being turned by Cody Webster down the front stretch. Nothing of note, really, to say of that incident. Just a small one-car spin, and after that, we went back to yellow. No one should be pitting here in these first 5 laps. Not much were ran. I wouldn't see any reason why, other than to take fuel, which I believe people may do. Is James going to pit for fuel? Oh my god, Jim is pitting. So James Thurston comes into pit road to take 5 laps worth of fuel, and everyone else stays out. Jim's one of the only ones to pit. That's a bold move there by Jim. And no one else is really pitting here. I lied. That's Connor Isabel in the 72 back there who hit. And Cody Webster in pit road as well. Tyler Sievert in pit road. Aiden Donahue in pit road. So about 5 or so people pit. Was not expecting Jim to pit though. It's an odd way to try and get fourth and jump ahead on strategy. He now has 14 cars to pass before he gets where he was. He's currently in 15th, so first interesting move of the race, and on your screen now on the left-hand side, you'll see the ticker, and where it says C is championship contenders, and all of them in the top 10 except for James now, as he was currently, and I believe still is, in third, or was third in points as we enter this race with 1 provisional and 4 wins to his name. He is but just 8 points behind Matthew Weeks, tied with Cameron Chandler. And Cameron Chandler is currently in 6th position. So Vinny Tigner, who is 10 points behind Matthew Weeks, has now, I believe, jumped up to the points lead. And if I can actually go back and look. To go back and look and see what the point system that they use is, how much each position pays out. See if I can't get a little bit more information.
Never mind not going.
Caution will be extended 1 lap. I actually can't see the... I can't see the points format they use, so... We'll have to just wing it. So, okay. So I can't check the point standings live. But we can take a look and see and make our best inferences. So, Vinny Tigner ahead of Chandler by 5 spots. I don't know if that equates to 8 points, but I think it should because they're more than 1 point apart. Let's see how this rolls. Green again for the first restart here tonight in Michigan. Hot on his feet already, James Thurston making up an easy 5 spots, but finds himself stuck behind, who is that? Jacob Elkins he finds himself stuck behind, and Matthew Weeks championship contender just ahead of him. Vinny Tigner now clear of Brady Williman on that middle lane, 3 wide middle, by about 3/10 of a second, now almost 4, as he does battle with the 63 of Greg Kalhoff, and then it's Matthew C. White and Jonathan Cutlip, with the next championship contender being Cameron Chandler and Braden Hunsaker, with James Thurston now making up another 2 spots, moving up to 8th. So quick charger there for the 96, as he just has but 7 positions. Caution is out yet again. I believe it's Curtis Stanford.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm a liar. Who is it? Oh, and Mike Hill is slow. Let's take a look back and see what happened. So here's Mike Hill going into turn 3. He's up by himself. The 82. Oh, and he gets loose right in front of Aiden Donahue. What a snap! My God. His car went, and it went hard. Take another look. I mean, I don't have many words. He tried to correct it, but I'm not too sure. Let's see if we can't get another look at it here. Maybe a bit of netcode? Look on board from Aiden Donahue. No, he just gets loose, and Aiden Donahue, I gotta say, props to him for trying to make an avoidance there with not much room to go. And that about solves the issue. Just another kind of self-spin to bring out another caution on lap 11. This would more or less, I think, maybe hurt. Well, I don't know. I was going to say it might hurt James Thurston, but I don't think it will. He falls back to 10th. Here's our former leader. What was Vinny Tigner. He came into pit road with everyone else. Vinny Tigner's now 15th as well. So, to pit or to stay out is the biggest option so far, and our new leader, Brady Williman, has now over Matthew C. White, Greg Kalhoff, Cameron Chandler, and Braden Hunsinger. That's your top 5. The pace lights will be out this time by. Will be going green right now. Unless they extend the caution like they did previously, but I don't think they will. For 2 cautions, and not a lot much else to say about the 2 incidents there. 2 calm and collected incidents to be said. One was just Mike Hill getting turned down the front stretch with some contact with Cody Webster, and then a self-spin by Mike Hill as he got loose with some help from Aiden Donahue. But not much else to say about that. Otherwise being said, pretty calm and collected race so far, minus the 2 cautions that we've had. Another restart here, the second here tonight from Michigan. As we get ready to go green once again. The green flag is out. We are racing again at Michigan. Almost 3 wide battle for the race lead. It's Greg Kalhoff now 3 wide again with Matthew C. White up in front. Brady Wellerman trying his best to hold on to his race lead, and Matthew C. White will take it down to the inside and get that race lead. Not before he's side by side with Henry Kalhoff right beside, and Brady Wellerman around that top side lane. Does he get the momentum enough to take the lead back? Yes, he does. Brady Wellerman doing everything in his power to hold on to the race lead. And just like that, he maintains it for the caution-free lap. Single file and a train being started. James Thurston moves up another 4 spots on the restart to jump up to 6th position, the 3rd highest championship contender. We still are nearly 3 wide for the race lead. It all breaks down with Brady Wellerman leading the bunch as Henry Kalhoff gets freight train and falls back quite a few spots. Battles here really showing up now as our championship contenders get more antsy to get to the front. It's still a 3 wide battle as some contact is made with Hunsinger and Matthew C. White. They make contact coming off of turn 3. They all save it. And Henry Kalhoff is the one to really get harmed in the most of that. He will fall back and is now doing battle with Cameron Chandler. James Thurston falls another 2 spots back to 8th as Vinny Tigner moves up to 6th. Gaining 9 spots on the restart. Matthew C. White in control of this race, but not for long. as Brady Welleman now slides below Matthew C. White, and he tries to take the lead away. Side by side as they enter turn 1, he will send it in deep, but will it be enough? Uses the seam on the lower line to try and get an advantage. Matthew C. White in the wall. But it does not hurt him. He still says side by side. Oh, but there is some damage. Back left corner of his bumper, and Vinny Tigner up to second. Where did he come from? Vinny Tigner now fighting for the race lead. Go side by side with Welleman as they enter turn 1. The 12 of Vinny Tigner has jumped 15 spots in just 5 laps to take the lead. Our championship positions now stands as Vinny Tigner leading the championship. Over Hunsinger, Chandler, Thurston, and Weeks, he is the highest championship contender in the lead. And what a charge back to the front it was as he manages to get up to the race lead. Vinny Tigner, who pitted under that last caution and fell back quite a large amount of spots, finds his way back up into the first position. So far, clean and green since that last caution. Vinny Tigner now pulling away by 0.3 of a second. And some mixes of battles going on here is all in the middle of by as lonesome as James Thurston, really kind of in a limbo position. I mean, who is that? Cody Miller? Joseph Miller. You can see the gap to the rest of the pack in front of him, and James, the work he has cut out for him as he will try to march up a few more spots. Two more battles here as Jacob Elkins makes the move on Matthew C. White. He slides back to 7. Henry Kalhoff makes the move on not only Braden Hunsinger, but Brady Welleman. Getting slingshot and freight trained around the outside, but oh, and a slight tap there by Braden to Brady. Gets Brady up and into the wall, and he'll stay side by side for Henry Kalhoff as Vinny Tigner pulls away. Out of the top 3, only one of them a championship contender, and that'll be Vinny Tigner in the lead. The battle for second and third is purely for position. And the man behind the both of them who just tagged the wall, Braden Hunsinger, is now also in the battle for the championship, along with Cameron Chandler behind him. Jonathan Cutlip trying to make a pass on Jacob Elkins here in the middle. The gaps got a little further between everybody, but no gap has grown bigger and over a faster period of time. Then our leader, Vinny Tigner, over Brady Welleman, he now stretches it to over a second. This is the largest gap, really, all the way back until James Thurston. That is the next second gap. Vinny Tigner walking away with the race so far as we nearly are a third of the way through tonight's event. It's lap 25 out of 90 here in Michigan. As we will be right back after these messages.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Boundless makes its presence felt. It will not be ignored. We're helping turn ideas into reality with a wealth of building products that take every architectural style to the next level. This is what it's like to imagine, build, and transform anything we want into exactly what we seek. This is what it means.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you back to the SNT Series here from the Irish Hills of Michigan as we now tick over to lap 31 of 90, just over a third of the way through tonight's event, and it is still a handle lead over the rest of the field for Vinny Tigner over Henry Kalhoff and Brady Welleman, now a second to almost 2 seconds behind the rest of them. The gap is clear. Just see how big the gaps are through the rest of the field. It's no surprise that Vinny Tigner has been able to make his way up and stay his way up here at the top of the field. Gaps are fairly large elsewhere, not a lot of battles going on other than single file action to tick down the laps here in Michigan, and Reed Kalhoff seems to be closing by a small margin, gained about 700 on that last lap. We've seen this before out of we've seen this before out of Vinny Tigner, where he gets quite an enormous lead but starts to fall back into the clutches of the people who save their tires just a little harder than he does. But it usually ends up playing out in Vinny Tigner's favor. Not often does it fall and be his detriment. So we'll have to see where the strategy ends up putting him further along. The Vinny Tigner out, still with a second lead over Henry Kalhoff and the rest of the field behind him. And that's over another second to Brady Welleman, the guy behind him. And that's where we start seeing a few more of the cars actually in tonight's event. That's Braden Hunsinger, Jonathan Cutlip, and just behind both of them, Cameron Chandler in the 88. Have to go a little bit further back to see two more championship contenders, Matthew Weeks and James Thurston. James Thurston now, what he used to be the highest championship contender, now is the lowest behind Weeks. Other than that, though, pretty spread out field here at Michigan, and there's much racing action to talk about. One of the closer battles on track, it's Aiden Donahue trying to slide up the inside of Jacob Elkins as he slides and gets loose. It's all up to Donahue as he now slides to the inside, goes low, and let's see if he can make the pass going into turn one. He clears him before turn one, and here comes Connor Isabel to make the move on the 35 as well. He lets the 72 go. And they both end up clear. So Jacob Elkins struggling with a loose race car as Jonathan Cutlip is now doing battle with Braden Hunsinger as he tries to make the move around the inside. A little bit of a bobble from Braden Hunsinger. Sees him slide up the racetrack but get the position back. Here comes Cameron Chandler on the 5. A lot of battles going on now as Braden Hunsinger tries to go to the inside of Brady Welleman. The gaps are changing drastically. Brady Welleman has lost 0.6 on to Henry Kalhoff. But on the contrary, Henry Kalhoff has gained another 4 to Vinny Tigner. You can see him now actually in the same frame. So Vinny Tigner, now as we tick over to lap 37, maybe starting to fall back and fall a bit behind. Gap staying pretty stagnant at about 0.6 to the rest of the field, so only time will tell. Here's the battle for third. It's Braden Hunsinger and Brady Welleman as they go side by side, quarter panel to quarter panel. They're going to get into each other and they're going to go for a slide. Braden Hunsinger saves it. Jonathan Cutlip makes the move. So does Cameron Chandler. And Brady Welleman slides back 2 spots. Hunsinger 3. A bit of contact made as they do battle. Matthew C. White passes Kenneth Gorel as they do a bit of battling. A ways away, and a pretty long ways away from the rest of the front half of the field. However, the gap at the front getting closer. Henry Kalhoff and Vinny Tigner pulling away further from the men behind them, but now Tigner falling into Henry Kalhoff's grasp. Now the gap being less than half a second. Few more laps tick by now as Vinny Tigner slowly falling into the clutches of Henry Kalhoff. The gap to Jonathan Cutlip, I believe, is indeed going down. But not before doing battle with Cameron Chandler, another championship contender. He is the second highest of the 5. There's still a few more battles going on across the edges of the racetrack now. Within 4/10 is the battle for the lead. We've seen multiple moves and this style of racing by Vinny Tigner as he gets out to an early lead and starts to maybe fall back into the clutches of others. But right now, exactly what's going on, and usually it's not to his detriment. He gets a lucky caution, but we're really getting close here to now being, we might have a battle for the lead. Speaking of which, here is the battle for 10th, Matthew C. White and Kenneth Gorel. Kenneth was just able to get around Matthew C. White, now stays ahead of him. James Thurston doing some battling with Matthew Weeks. Another two set of championship contenders. These two have clawed their way up and have gotten into the grasp and the surrounding areas of Brady Welleman and Braden Hunsinger. And if they can get past those guys, it's just about a 4.5 second gap to them and the lead pack. Oh! And Braden Hunsinger goes for a slide! But he saves it. I didn't even see that coming, and now he falls back another 2 spots, and he will be the last championship contender now. What a slide and a save. Let's get a replay. Bit loose coming off of 4. Hangs the right hand down and gets it back going again. James with a slide 2 just off the corner. Wow. What a move by Braden Hunsinger. He will end up down pit road. I'm assuming of which to take tires after that massive slide. Brady Welleman now finding himself in a battle with Matthew Weeks. James Thurston looking on. James Thurston going to send it in deep through the middle and carry the speed up through the top as Brady Welleman and Cameron Chandler come down to pit road. Matthew Weeks and James Thurston stay out on the racetrack. Henry Kalhoff now falling back a bit from our leader, Vinny Tigner. All signs pointed to that he would catch our leader, but that ended up not being the case. And now in comes Henry Kalhoff. So the rest of this bunch stays out. Those the likes of Vinny Tigner, Jonathan Cutlip, Matthew Weeks, and James Thurston. Vinny Tigner halfway down the back. James Thurston just entering the backstretch. So when these guys plan on pitting is an oddity to me, but they stay out on the racetrack. I don't know how long they can stay out because we're just past halfway, but I don't know if they can make it halfway on a full tank. Decisions here in Michigan, as we are now on lap 47, coming to 48. Things get dicey with pit strategy. Do you come now, or do you try and stretch it for as long as you can? That is the battle we're seeing now. Henry Kalhoff, one of those to have pitted just a few laps ago, makes his way around our leader, Vinny Tigner, to unlap himself. Along with Brady Wellerman just behind, going to do a repeat of Kalhoff just a few corners ago. And a few more comers to pit road as well. Kenneth Gorel now. Kenneth Gorel drops in, but our top five stays the same. It's Vinny Tigner, Jonathan Cutlip, Matthew Weeks, James Thurston, and Aiden Donahue. Men to stay out on the racetrack with no signs of coming into pit road. Cutlip, Weeks, Thurston, and Donahue all stay out with no intention of pitting. To offer a reminder for most of you watching at home, Vinny Tigner now is coming into the pits. Our leader, Vinny Tigner, down on the pit road as well. Jonathan Cutlip, Matthew Weeks, and James Thurston all stay out. Cutlip now to the race lead. So after a shocking turn of events, we saw Vinny Tigner come down to pit road. Cutlip will stay out. Weeks will stay out. Thurston will stay out. They have not come to pit road just yet. Aiden Donahue stays out as well. Cody Webster and the likes of him also staying out. Richard Cherie, Connor Isabel, Tyler Sievert, another man to come down pit road, and that will shorten people to stay out. Our leader, Jonathan Cutlip, now trying to stay out as long as he can with Matthew Weeks and James Thurston. They are both good to go. We stay out. Aiden Donahue looking to stay out as well. Yes, he does. Cody Webster thinking the same. So does Richard Cherie and Connor Isabel. But how long can these guys truly stay out on the racetrack? It's been about 6 laps. Or no, I'm sorry. It's been about 3 laps since we saw Vinny Tigner come down pit road. And everyone else still looking to stay out. A bit of a lower line as now Cutlip breaks and he's entering pit road. So does Weeks and so does Thurston. All 3 pit. Kenneth Gorel to the race lead. Or no, excuse me, sorry. Is everyone in this group pitting? Yes, everyone in this group is pitting. It'll be Henry Kalhoff, who is just coming out of turn 4 right now to assume the race lead. Henry Kalhoff takes the race lead. With Cameron Chandler behind, it's Brady Wellerman and Jonathan Cutlip beats Matthew Weeks off pit road with James Thurston just behind. No order of change except for James had a slower stop and fell back behind Weeks. Henry Kalhoff entering turn 3 as Matthew Weeks and the like heading down the back, with Matthew Weeks now falling behind James Thurston as he gets a better run off of pit road and clear of Matthew Weeks. So the battle lighting up now as Kalhoff has to hold back a charging Tigner, a charging Cutlip, Thurston, and Weeks. They stayed out longer than everyone else, and hopefully this works to their advantage. They can push a little bit longer. Can they make the rest of the race on gas? With just 35 laps to go here in Michigan, it all comes down to this. James Thurston now making another move as he slides up to the inside of Jonathan Cutlip as they go side by side down the front stretch. Looks to have fallen back just a bit, regaining that momentum. James Thurston peeks out ahead and clears. James Thurston leading the charge of the recent pitters. He will now go up to the front of the group. Thurston just 10 seconds or less than 10 seconds behind our leader, Henry Kalhoff. That gap is diminishing over half, almost by a full second in the last two corners. James Thurston to head the charge out of everyone behind him, and it's Matthew C. White in front of him, Vinny Tigner, Cameron Chandler, Welleman, Henry Kalhoff. Thurston has gained over 4 seconds in the last 3 laps on Henry Kalhoff. Let's take a look at their splits. A 2-lap average for Henry Kalhoff ends up being a 40.2. If we look at James Thurston, 38.9, so just 1.2 seconds faster there. And only seeming to increase his speed. At this rate, James Thurston will catch Henry Kalhoff in about 8 laps. Or really less than that, I'd say about 6. But we'll just have to see. Taking a look at our stats here for fastest lap, it's James Thurston with a fastest time of 38.609 and a fastest speed of 186.5591. So a lot of stuff going down right now. Henry Kalhoff to lead 6 of 60 laps run. And right now, he's just ticking off the laps, but right now, James is ticking off the seconds. He makes the move on Matthew C. White, and so does Jonathan Cutlip there behind him as well, doing battle with Matthew C. White. He'll be up the inside, and the move is made. Cutlip now ahead of Matthew C. White. So James Thurston on the charge, and a lot more when we come back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Boundless makes its presence felt. It will not be ignored. We're helping turn ideas into reality with a wealth of building products that take every architectural style to the next level. This is what it's like to imagine, build, and transform anything we want into exactly what we seek. This is what it means to be boundless.
To cut back abruptly, we have a caution that comes out on lap 63. And this picture tells us that it might be Elijah Hawley. Take a look back. We're already in the outside wall. How does this come about? Heading up by the top, going pretty extraordinarily slow. Oh, and he hits the outside wall. I believe that may have been a technical issue. Looks to be. But he finds himself down pit road. And the caution is back out again. It says, in come the field to pit road. And this gives Henry Kelhoff an easy spot back up to the lead. Field comes down pit road after a technical issue for Elijah Haw. He brings out the fourth caution of the day, I believe. As things get slowly back underway here in Michigan, and things cycle back up to the front, Vinny Tigner comes out ahead of James Thurston and Brady Welleman to our race lead. Some quick sports updates before we get ready to go green. Starting out with the MLB. Bottom of the 6th, 2-0 Padres Astros. Astros up to bat. It's 2-0 Padres lead. Top of the 8th, it's 2-1 Athletics leading over the Brewers. Top of the 5th, the Twins and Braves tied at 2-2 each. Those are the 3 games on right now, with the Giants and the Angels starting in about 40 minutes. And the final from the Rockies and the Nationals being 12-11, Nationals winning that one. And the Yankees versus the Rays. The Yankees fall to the Rays 2 runs, Rays 10, Yankees 8. As we get ready to go back green here once again, it's lap 66 of 90. We get ready for the last leg of this one here from the Irish Hills of Michigan, and we are green once again. And with an extravagant move to take the lead, James Thurston is our new race leader. Over Vinny Tigner and Brady Welleman, he leads our championship contenders once again. And is finding himself ahead of the lead by a large margin. James Thurston now almost half a second ahead of the rest of the field. Gap further stretching to James and his lead over the field. As in the back of the picture, Vinny Tigner now holding off a charge from Brady Welleman, Matthew C. White, and Matthew Weeks. The Matthew and Matthew show behind for the 48. Things get dicey. James Thurston and Vinny Tigner, the perennial leaders here in Michigan. Then it's Matthew C. Weeks, Brady Welleman, Matthew C. White, Jonathan Cutlip, Hunsinger, and Chandler. The top 3 are all championship contenders. The battle rages on behind. It's Matthew C. White on Jonathan Cutlip around the outside. Braden Hunsinger on the inside, with Cameron Chandler just behind him, and Henry Calhoun side by side with Cameron Chandler. With just 17 laps to go here in Michigan, things are heating up beyond belief. Here is our mid-pack battle, and things have sort of evened out and calmed down just a bit. Braden Hunsinger trying to make some moves and make something work as he splits Brady Williman 3 wide middle with Jonathan Cutlip. He'll go down to the inside, Cutlip on the outside. They'll stay side by side. Cutlip clears. Cutlip able to make the move as now Brady Welleman starts to fall back even further. Matthew C. White to push him up the track side by side, and a little bit of contact there with the 2-car. Things heating up in the middle of the pack. Things heating up for the race lead. Vinny Tigner now within 1/10 of a second of James Thurston. Things continue to heat up as they're now side by side down the front stretch. Tigner to take that lap lead. And now the position given by James to Tigner. Vinny Tigner clear of James Thurston by 2/10 on lap 75 out of 90. Here's where we see the early to mid-run speed of Vinny Tigner. He pulls away from James Thurston, his hot lap pace starting to fall back just a little. As now Jonathan Cutlip passes Matthew Weeks for the 3rd position. Braden Hunsinger trying to make the move on Matthew Weeks. He'll pop it down the inside, and he peeks ahead, clears, and makes the move handily. Weeks giving him a shove as 2 championship contenders fight it out for the 4th position. I would have expected Vinny Tigner to pull away at this point, but no, James Thurston has clawed his way back and is now within 2/10 of a second. Even still, Jonathan Cutlip closing behind them as well. James Thurston now almost less than 1/10 of a second behind Vinny Tigner. This battle continues to heat up as it's not only the battle for the race lead, but the battle for the championship. The points as they spread across, this would cause a massive change-up. Just as a quick recap, Matthew Weeks is in the lead of our points, and it's Cameron Chandler, James Thurston, Vinny Tigner, and Braden Hunsinger. Vinny Tigner with an incredible run so far tonight, and this would put him in prime position to be in charge and in a chance for the championship. James Thurston tied with Cameron Chandler as well, so him being in second opens up a bit of a move as Chandler is in 8th. And with Matthew Weeks being in 5th, this would slim down that point margin to the lead as well. So right now we are seeing one of the closest championship battles in SMT history. And things only proceed to get crazier. A run off the top for James Thurston. The gap still stays the same, cutting a few tenths of a second lower. But James has been stuck in this limbo area of about a tenth and a half to a tenth of a second. He'll have to make a move now if he wants to make one at all. But Vinny Tigner knows better. He knows that James has been one to make a move down the inside and dive it in. Does James try and do it now? No, he sticks to something else, and he goes around the outside trying to get a run off the top and then sling it down low and make a move on the inside. Does he do that now? Let's see. Gap ticking down constantly. Now wasn't 2 tenths, now 1.5, now 1 1/3. As James will have to do more and do better. He stays behind, but a nice run off of turn number 4 leads him to still stay stuck behind Vinny Tigner, unable to find a path, an avenue, away around the 12. Incredible battles here opening up for the lead, even with Jonathan Cutlip eyeing this battle from third. Continues to be in with an earshot. James Thurston falling back a little bit, gains a lot of time on this exit, stagnates just a bit, 1.5 tenths and now gaining by a couple hundredths, but now the slipstream comes into effect. James Thurston now gaining some more time, as we say, at a tenth and a third before turn number 1. Backs off a little bit, searches for the clean air, sticks it down low on the paint, and will use as much as the exit as possible. Falls back again, a tenth and a half now. Starts to claw his way back, and will do the same thing he did last corner. Absolutely ripping the paint is James Thurston. He finds a good avenue now. He gets right behind Vinny Tigner, tries to look high. Tigner almost puts him in the wall. He gives him the space, and he has the outside. James Thurston side by side with Vinny Tigner, and that's all he needs. But Tigner clears himself again. Thurston now to battle on the outside, gets the run around the top. They are side by side down the back straightaway. Tigner pinching as close to the wall as he can, dives it to the inside as James stays up in the middle. A close battle not only for the championship, but for the race lead. James Thurston ekes his way out and has made it back to the race lead, side by side still with Vinny Tigner. Jonathan Cutlip now within a tenth of a second as well. It's a three-way battle for the race lead. Sends it in deep to the corner goes Vinny Tigner now as James Thurston gets a runoff exit. Slings it down low, not a block in sight from Tigner. James will do the same thing he did. He sends it up the inside. Can he hold it and stay ahead of Tigner? For the moment, he does. Tigner now clawing back some time as well. Great corner exit for Jonathan Cutlip. What will we see entering turn 1? James Thurston blocks his line that Vinny Tigner was going to take, opening up an avenue for Jonathan Cutlip to make a move. Vinny Tigner now back, right behind James Thurston's bumper, less than a tenth of a second now as he tries to do the move that James had pulled on him to get the race lead. Unable to do such thing as he stays behind. 1/10 behind them, and then 1/10 further is Jonathan Cutlip. He dives it down to the inside, trying to make a move on Vinny Tigner. Thinks better of it, goes back up to the high side. Matthew Weeks now in tow as well, just over a second behind. A 3-car battle for the race lead. Vinny Tigner now right on the back bumper of James Thurston as he now peeks to the inside to make a move for the race lead. James has no choice but to let him and give him the space on the inside. What will James do? Pinches him down to the line. Vinny Tigner will slide up, but so will James. James holds on to the position now as Tigner slides up behind, giving an avenue for Jonathan Cutlip to make a move. Cutlip slides down the inside. Vinny Tigner now on all-out defense as he tries to prevent a move by Jonathan Cutlip. Hanging around the outside, a battle like this is all James Thurston wants to see. Side by side, the 5, the 12. Who will win this battle? The 12 peeks his way back down the inside once again. Coming with 2 laps to go. Vinny Tigner gets loose. He slides, but he's still there. 2 laps to go here from Michigan. Jonathan Cutlip handily over Vinny Tigner. As Tigner now running out of time to make a move on Cutlip and try and do something against James Thurston. As we come off of turn number 4, white flag is in the air. 1 more lap to go for James Thurston. Does Vinny Tigner try and make a move on Jonathan Cutlip? He peeks to the inside, thinks better of it, stays behind the 5. And with an all-out battle for second place, one man has stood above the rest. The 96 of James Thurston holds out strong and is holding out even stronger to add another win on a historic season for the 96. James Thurston exits turn 4 high and swoops back down low to cross the start-finish line. A winner from the Irish Hills here at Michigan. James Thurston takes the lead and he wins the race. James Thurston, your winner from Michigan. And a horrific crash for Jonathan Cutlip after the line. He comes home second. Vinny Tigner comes home third. This will absolutely shake up the championship points heading into the finale. What an incredible finish. James Thurston to slide and park it in victory lane. What an absolutely astonishing way to end tonight's race. Now let's take a look at your finishing order. It's James Thurston who ekes out the win over Jonathan Cutlip. Then it's Vinny Tigner, Matthew Weeks, and Cameron Chandler, the top 5. Aiden Donahue and Brady Welleman, followed by Braden Hunsinger, Richard Cherie, and Henry Kalhoff, your top 10. Then it's followed by Connor Isabel, Cody Webster, Kenneth Gorel, Joseph Miller, Matthew C. White, Tyler Sievert, and Jacob Elkins, with Curtis Stanford being the last to finish on the lead lap. Elijah Hawley and Mike Hill, Connor James, and Chris Tripp. What an absolutely astonishing race. Before we end things out, let's get a few words from our top three finishers. First of all, being James Thurston. James, talk to me. An incredible finish to find you in the winner and in victory lane here in the Irish Hills of Michigan. How exactly did you do it?
Late yellow there really helped me out. Just put me right in the perfect spot, and just incredible racing out there with Vinny and all of them. Sorry I forgot to send you the SNT ping tonight, bud. I forgot about it again.
You forgot about it, but bro didn't know I was broadcasting.
I did not.
I want to go look back to the beginning of the race. We had, at least to me, what it seemed to be an odd call on lap 5. You come down pit road, as only I think 5 of the people did, but all the 5 rest who were in the back half of the, basically the top 15, all decided to come down pit road as well. So you, as the leader on lap 5, came down pit road. What was your thought process there for the rest of the race?
I was just putting fuel in the car, just hoping it would go green for a long time, and it did. It sort of did a little bit, but I really needed it to just go green after that first yellow, because after the second one or whatever the hell we got to, it just my strategies kind of started to fall apart, and I was just trying to get guys to use their sets at that point. I didn't even use any of my tire sets up until the halfway or so yellow, wherever that was. Yeah, I only used 2 sets this race. I don't know how many sets the other guys used. But that's kind of what hurt me on that long run. I was still on my original set of tires when I was just back there with Weeks. Yeah, really happy to get this done. Should get some points on him in the championship, and it should definitely close some things up there for the final race.
Well, I can't exactly see what are the actual points. I can look at the results, but it won't show me the season scoring right now. I'm imagining I'll have to wait for the points and whatnot to come through in the Discord. But right now, the standings going into Michigan, I have it pulled up here, and I showed it at the beginning of the broadcast. Matthew Weeks led at 5,048. You were tied with Cameron Chandler at 5,040. Vinny Tigner was 2 points behind you, and Hunsinger was, I think, another 5 behind at Tigner. So with this win, I'm assuming it pays a couple more points on average than the other positions, and Weeks being your main competition, he finishes down in 4th. So I'm imagining you gain at least 5 points on him, which would put you up to 2nd. But we have to wait for the points to come in. But a good number of points you gained on Weeks. But still, what are our thoughts going into the championship next week?
I'm pretty excited about it. I don't even know what track it is. I gotta look. But yeah, tonight I needed to maximize the points. I mean, we won the race, so we got a lot of points, but didn't get pole. Mr. Hot Lap Hero himself. What's his name?
Matthew C. White. Matthew C. White
Yeah,
was on the pole.
He seems to be there a lot, and then he falls off by lap 10. So that's always fun to see. I didn't get practice, but we got to set a nice lap there, but it doesn't pay points just to run a nice lap. But didn't lead the most laps, didn't get pole, but yeah, we won the race. So it just thanks to Power Smash, Infinity Speed Motorsports, Murphy Esports, and yeah, just really happy to win this.
An absolutely incredible last 10 laps there. Truly a battle between you and Tigner. You guys went at it for about a solid 6 laps or so before he fell back into the grasp of Jonathan Cutlip, the man who finished 2nd. But congratulations on the win, Jim, and hopefully your head held high, and try and get that points back up to really a usable spot to try and win the championship now. Top 4 is looking close. What are your thoughts just about going in? Well, at least final thoughts going into the championship.
If we don't win it, it's a failure.
So clearly a lot of weight on your shoulders, Jim. I don't know how that's gonna plan out for the rest, but congratulations once again on your win here tonight in Michigan, and hope all goes well next week.
All right, thank you, buddy.
the man who comes home with the win, James Thurston in the 96. Let's get a talk with Jonathan Cutlip, the man who finished second on a last couple lap move on Vinny Tigner. Jonathan Cutlip, you come home second. Walk me through the race.
Yeah, it was a pretty interesting race from a strategy standpoint. We had a pretty decent stint the first time, and I ended up burning the right rear a little bit more than what I was anticipating, and I think we were still a good shot at the win with the 11 and the 12. I'm not sure if James, where he was at in strategy, he was starting to run his tires off towards the early part of that stint, but I feel like if that had gone green, I feel like the four of us would have had a fun brawl to the finish, but unfortunately the caution came out at not the greatest of times for us. Ended up taking a set of tires at the end, and it just ended up turning into a track position race, and unfortunately we were at a little bit of a disadvantage there, but we were starting to make up a little bit of ground at the end, just too little too late.
Well, honestly, one of the more impressive charges I've seen in the last few laps of a race, but able to make your way up back into the top three, I assume is really good. Though you're not in the fight for the championship, a good second place to round off a couple of the last races in the season. You've got one more race in the finale, and what are your thoughts heading into next week?
I'm not even sure what tracks next week. I'm kind of just enjoying the racing here. Like, it's really hard because I wanted to race James and Vinny there at the end. I just didn't want to do something like stupid and damage one of their chances, because they both have raced me really clean and respectfully, and Vinny's a good dude. He puts together a very solid league, and it's enjoyable to just come in and race. But yeah, we'll probably be here next week. Hopefully it's a good race for us. I enjoy coming over and just racing with you guys. Do a great job over here.
Well, thank you so much for the kind words, and is there anything else you'd like to say, or anyone else you'd like to thank?
Shout out to Race CPI, my Road to Pro team. Great group of guys, open setups. If you guys ever want to try running that, definitely go to them. They put together great setups week in and week out. Shout out to you guys over here at Saturday Night Thunder. Again, it's a super fun league, super clean, well organized. Shout out to you, Alex. Hopefully it was a fun race. It was definitely fun for us at times. It was definitely like hot and slick, and a lot of the lanes were coming in. That's pretty rare here, so that was fun to work around with. Shout out to my mom. She was watching. She was enjoying the race tonight. But yeah, I'll catch you guys next week.
Well, thank you so much, and hopefully all goes well in the upcoming finale, wherever we are next week. But thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And that was our second place finisher, Jonathan Cutlip. Now let's move on to league owner and third place finisher, Vinny Tigner. So, Vinny, you come home in third after a strong battle there with the 96 of Jim Thurston and the 5 of Jonathan Cutlip. Run me through overall what the race was like.
Well, the race was pretty interesting early on, the way the cautions fell, and yeah, I just my strategy was to just run hard, and I felt pretty confident, just judging from practice and everything else. I kind of knew what to expect, and wanted to get that lead and try to lead the most laps, and or lead a lap initially and then lead the most laps was my next goal, to get some bonus points for these playoffs. My only shot, is to stay alive in these playoffs, just to pretty much go out tonight and win it, and came up short, but yeah, I mean, the way the strategies fell, obviously I did not want that yellow to come out for Elijah there. I was hunting down Henry, and I know James and I think Matthew Weeks, maybe some others, were kind of on a similar strategy, and I was just kind of, since I was reeling in Henry at a fast pace, I just took care of my stuff, and I was still reeling him in. So I wanted it to run green to the rest of the way, because I felt like I was going to get the win easily, but didn't happen, and obviously I got the lead back and then screwed it up. So it is what it is. It was a hell of a race. I can't complain on that. So congrats to James, and yeah, it was still fun.
Well, that was one of the best final lap sequences I've seen. We had a 3-car battle for the race lead in the last 6 laps or so, and it ended up falling short here. But a lot of points gained, I would assume, on our championship contenders. One of the closest we've seen in SNT history, and I think that this is overall leading to a wonderful championship battle next week.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna, as soon as I get off of here, I'm gonna check, upload the standings and see where everything lies. I'm curious to know where I stack, but I mean, I think James has got a pretty decent lead, but I think it's still close enough where I think Matthew Weeks is probably, he might be still the leader, or he's right there. So but yeah, I mean, it's still going to be interesting next week no matter what. Nobody's got this thing on lock, so obviously James has got momentum, but we'll see what happens. Let's see what happens next weekend and go from there.
Well, once again, congratulations on your 3rd place finish here in Michigan. Is there anything else you'd like to say, or anyone else you'd like to thank?
Yeah. Well, thanks to you for filling in for David. And thanks to the guys that showed up tonight. Put on a great race, and yeah, hopefully anybody that tuned in enjoyed that one.
Well, thank you so much for the kind words. Congratulations once again on your 3rd place finish, and hopefully all goes well in the finale next week.
All right, thank you.
And that is going to do it. One more time, just so you people at home can see what the final battle ended up being like. This is our current point standings. Well, technically not current, but this is what the points look like entering tonight's race. I don't think the broadcast will be on long enough for me to be able to show you what the points will end up looking like after Vinny Tigner updates the points. This is what it was looking like before. A handle battle, or a handle lead for Matthew Weeks. He comes 4th compared to James and the rest of the other championship contenders who make their way up a few spots higher. So I'm assuming there was going to be a decent point swing between those here at the top 3. At least I know that Matthew Weeks, if he is still in the lead, I'm going to make a guesstimate here and say maybe in the lead by 1 or 2 points. I don't think the points are going to swing that drastically, enough to make a big enough change to maybe make an altering decision, such as moving a few more spots. But definitely quite the battle going into next week. And while I'm on here, let me see if I can't take a look at the schedule and see where everyone is next week. Session's not posted. Maybe in the look at the schedule. Vegas. We are down in Vegas to gamble our way to a champion April 26th, 120 laps at Vegas. That will see the end of what season? It doesn't actually say what season this is of SNT, but after I believe that's a 16-race season, if I'm not mistaken. After a 16-race season here at SNT, it all comes down to Vegas here next weekend. It'll be April 26th down in the Heartland. And in Sin City, gamble our way and roll the dice to see who will be our newest SNT champion. Will it be one of the certifieds like James Thurston? Will it be Vinny Tigner himself? Or will it be Matthew Weeks? I believe everyone else may have fallen out of mathematical contention for the title. If they are in contention, it's a very, very, very slim mathematical chance where everything has to go right. But thank you all so much for tuning into tonight's broadcast. And let me get the inevitables out of the way. Oops. I have been your producer and commentator for tonight's event, Alexander Balderas. I've been on the booth covering for David here for tonight's event from Michigan. Absolutely astonishing event here from the Irish Hills. And boy, oh boy, do I wish I could come back more. Let's take a look here, and let's say some of the final words. For all Fireball Talks NASCAR-related content, make sure you scan the QR code on your screen right now and join our official Discord for more information on races, access to in-house views and productions, and in-house broadcasts. If you want to learn more about what goes on behind the scenes of FTN, scan the QR code on your screen right now to learn more and to join the FTN-verse. Or if you're interested in joining the iRacing scene, scan the QR code on your screen right now and get sent to the iRacing website and the eNASCAR website to take a look at what it takes to join onto the virtual racetrack. If you found yourself wanting and yearning for the racetrack, as many of our viewers have, scan the QR code on your screen right now to join in on the action and join in one of the many great leagues that we cover, from IORA to S&T to Integrity and more. If you'd like to join in on the action and see yourself on track, scan the QR code on your screen right now. Well, once again, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I've been Alexander Balderas, your producer-commentator, here for S&T in the second to last round of the playoffs. Thank you so much for tuning in, and make sure you come back next week. Next week, Thursday, we're back with IORA at Michigan, so more Michigan content coming in within the next few days. And then after that, it's going to be S&T finale at Vegas. Make sure to tune in live for that as well. We thank you all so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for watching. Have a safe night, everybody.